Hello and welcome to Titanium Talk Tarot, and today I will be doing a Are you knocking yourself out of your intuitiveness and how? So for this video series, I generally use some concepts from SuperConscious Education brought to us by Chris Duncan. I will also use my intuition to fill in the blanks. And with that being said, let's get started with the first intuitive like, sense, right? Or the first intuitive wave. So for that, that is the perfectionist. The perfectionists would be the ones who know exactly how to do something in order for it to turn out perfect, right? So please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good. Wait, first of all, okay. So please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my perfectionist, please come forward and share if they are knocking themselves out of their intuitiveness this week. I get a yes. Mm, no. I get a no. Yeah, I get a no. Uh, yes. So, I guess you're concentrating only on, how can things turn out great, and in so doing, you are keeping yourself away from any type of trying to meddle, like meddle in the sense of like trying to alter some other parts of the project, because I'm seeing this project that you're working on, and instead of just your perfectionists are the fine tuners. They're the ones that will, do the pixie dust at the very end, making sure everything is like all tied up in the little bow. I feel like if you come into the project earlier and try to, well, let's say you do have other parts to play in this group. If you take more than you can chew, which means that you try and do other people's parts as well as yours, as well as the last minute finishing touches, I feel like the project is going to be a flop. So just be mindful of that. Now, let's just see how specifically you are knocking yourself out. And we got consciousness. You're being too conscious about whatever this is, right? So you are trying to consciously meddle into other people's stuff instead of just following your intuitive brilliance of fine tuning stuff. Yes, of course you have to do your part, but then you have to fine tune. Well, not you have to, but you generally are, you know, um, you are generally you concentrate on the fine tuning, and that's what you should be focusing on this week. So that's it for my perfectionist. And the project can be whatever, right? Whatever. Could be you're remodeling your house. It could be you're working on a project with classmates, or whatever it is. It's gonna be different for every single one of you. Now, for my helpers, the ones who know exactly how to help out their friends or people in need, and for it to turn out to actually be helpful for the other person. So please, angels and guides, anyone who has good, who has a message for my helpers, how, wait a minute. So are my helpers knocking themselves out? I get a no. But if you But if at the end of the week you feel like you're kind of getting out of it, it's because you're being indirect. You're So the way that you're helping is you're trying to camouflage the way that you help, which is very odd. You're not very open. Not that you're open. It's like you're trying to keep it hush hush. You want to make sure that people don't know what you're doing and how you're going about something. So now, for my achievers, the ones who like to set goals for themselves and achieve them one after the other. So let's see, are my achievers knocking themselves out? Yes, I get a like right off the bat. Yes. So it might be at the beginning of the week that so it might start at the beginning of the week and go until next week or the beginning of next week. So how are my achievers knocking themselves out? We got consciousness that flipped right side in the right way. So my achievers, hmm, you're being like the helpers, you're being conscious about, well, you like to set your goals, right? So you like to set your goals, and generally that doesn't necessarily need to be conscious, but whatever it is, um, hmm, there's something in the way you achieve your projects that you are consciously doing. I feel like your magic, you don't know what it is that you do specifically, but for some reason it works every single time with you. And for some reason, this time, because you're being conscious about it, you're not letting the magic flow. Because the magic flows when you let it go and you just do it, right? You don't try to, I'm getting that you're trying to, like, consciously understand what your steps are so you can, like, repeat it. But I feel like not this project is what I'm getting. Because if you do it for this project, I feel like the project is gonna tank if you if you if you try to think the steps while you're doing it. Instead, think of it afterwards, and try and do a smaller project, not the big project. No, not the ones that you are so stressed about that you have no time to even scratch your ass, type of thing. Sorry for my crudeness. Now for my individualists, the artists, the trendsetters, the ones that are in the public eye. So are they knocking themselves out? I get it. Yes, yes. So how are my individualists knocking themselves out? You got conscious, you got conscious, conditional choice, and choice through default. I guess conscious is a recurring theme this week. Um, so for my individualist, okay. So for my individualist, what I'm getting is that you guys are, well, if you are a leader, all right. If you're a leader of thought, well, I mean, you're the leader of thought of this modern age, right? And so you are. I feel like up to this point you've been going it like with how you feel in regards to something, and for some reason you aren't going with how you feel this project. You're going with what you think others would like to hear you say instead of going with how you feel. And I feel other people are gonna notice that, and so I feel like they're gonna see, because you're going with what other people want instead of what you feel would be correct. I feel like other people would feel that you're being kind of mistake, and that you're coming to this with conditional choice because you're putting more importance on what other people think instead of what you think or what you feel inside of you. And due to that, you're going with choice through default, right? You're not actually listening to your intuition, you are listening to theirs, is what I'm getting. So now, okay, so that was for my individualists. Now for my investigators, the ones who are the scientists who like to push the boundaries just a little bit farther of what is known to us. So please, angels and guides, and we got reaction, universal sign, belief, and consciousness yet again. Okay, so reaction, universal signs, and consciousness. So how are my investigators knocking themselves out? I feel like the how should I put this? The results that you're getting from your testing, okay, is causing you to react. You are getting emotional about something. You're too attached, is what I'm getting. And because you're too attached, you're following universal signs instead of following your intuition. I feel like someone told you that you should watch out for this, and so you're watching out for that instead of you actually listening to your inner voice and knowing what your intuition tells you to pay attention to. And due to that, you are bringing all this into like making conscious decisions about these things instead of just following your intuition like you normally do. All right, and just knowing what the next step is. I I. So now for my loyalists, the ones that like to sit behind like to defend an idea to the bitter end, right? So please, angels and guides, anyone for the highest good, and you got conditional choice, universal signs, and reaction. Okay, so conditional choice. Um, so you are following a condition that you've set for yourself, and and following that condition. So I'm getting that you're not really following your intuition. You're following a condition that you've set for yourself, and that's because your focus is on that condition that you set for yourself. Whatever signs you are noticing are all pertaining to that condition. Okay, you aren't casting your web, uh, your web. I mean your thing in the army thing. Um, your net, that's web net. You're not casting your net wide enough to get all the information that the universe is sending you your way, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, whatever. You are just going with that condition and only focalizing on that, and because of that, you are reacting to everything else. No, or you're just reacting to the universal signs that you're getting instead of going with like okay. So now for my enthusiasts. So please, angels and guides, are my enthusiasts knocking themselves out? I get a yes. Yes, you are. So how are my enthusiasts knocking themselves out this week? Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good. And you got a lot. You got resolving a belief about yourself. You got consciousness. You got universal signs, choice to default and reaction. So I feel like you're going to start the week by trying to resolve a negative belief about yourself. But that negative belief about yourself is conscious. So you are consciously putting more importance on it. Right? Well, which is basically what any change is, because it goes from your subconscious and it's being sent up to your conscious brain, right? So now, of course, you're gonna notice it, but I feel like you are taking that consciousness and you're trying to see in like universal signs that are coming to you, and through those universal signs, I feel like you are choosing through default what your next step is. So what I'm getting is that and because of that, you're reacting instead of actually tuning in to your higher knowing, your higher self, and going within and figuring out what actually is being sent to you uh, as your next steps to do right from your intuition. So that's it for my enthusiast. Now for my protectors. Aha. Yes. So please, angels and guides, anyone for the highest good, who has a message for my protectors, the ones who know exactly how to take care of other things so that they can last. Please, angels and guides, anyone for the highest good, who has a message for my protectors. And you got reaction and universal signs. Now, so the way that you are knocking yourself out this week is that you are reacting to stuff, and you are reacting to universal signs in a very emotional way. Is what I'm getting, and so yeah, you aren't really utilizing your, how should I say this, you're calm, you're reacting. You aren't responding, you're reacting, is what I'm getting. Now for my chameleons. Please, angels and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my chameleons, please come forward and share. Wait, first of all, yes, you are knocking yourself out. You got reaction, you got indirectness, and resolving a negative belief about yourself. So I feel like something is going to happen this week that is going to get you in the defensive mode, which is going to make you react. But I feel like you're being passive aggressive with your reactions because of this indirectness. And this, because someone has pointed out a negative belief they have about you. And so I feel like what's the word? You respect this person, right? You respect them, and you respect them, so you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you're also trying to skirt the issue, and you're being passive aggressive about this. So they say, but you don't really take it into account. All right. So my gorgeous triple tears, this is what I have for you guys this week. If you like this, and if you like me to go deeper into your specific situation, please contact me at the email in the box below, and it is my pleasure to assist. In that same box, you'll find a little description of this video and my price for private readings, as well as the email you can send donations to on PayPal if you feel so called. And with that being said, my gorgeous triple tears, I wish you guys all a very good week, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.